Hey everybody, welcome back to IP Farms. Well, we'll be a little short one here hopefully on piecing together this drive shaft for the big bush hog. Buddy's here, help me with it. We're measuring things up. We'll get some stuff cut, so I'll turn it around here and get you as much as I possibly can for footage, and I'll explain it as we go. Storm clouds are looking good. Hopefully you can hear me. Took a flat piece of paper, wrapped around the pipe, measured off the end, got it squared up, drew a mark around it with a marker, and then what I showed you just a second ago was he was just rolling it in the jack stand to keep it true and scribe it with a grinder, and then going back cutting all the way through it. Pretty precise that way, which not a machine shop by any means, but we do the best we can. So we'll finish cutting that up, and then I'll show you the parts and pieces as we put them together. Do the same thing when we're welding it. I'll have him turn it while I'm running a bead around. The last one I did was with a Lincoln welder that I used to have. I don't know how to do with this Hobart. I'm hoping you don't have it one shot at it, but you know what? It's a lot cheaper than paying somebody to do it, so give it a try. So around here we recycle parts. Here's my warning label for my warranty on the power steering pump. We just put on the F250 there. So that's what we use, is telling you a piece of paper, wrapped it around, marked it. So we've got to put this inside that and weld it. And we'll put that inside, and like I said, that pretty much centers it. I mean, it's not 100% balanced, but it works fine for us. That's what we did on the front one. And then we'll cut a piece of this. This is what I was waiting on. I had to order. Stuff's expensive. Smallest piece I could find was 3 foot. Agri Supply sells it in 1 foot sections, but they won't ship it, so you got to go there. And time I did that, paid for the fuel and everything, just ordered a 3 foot piece. Now I've got some extra. So see if we can get this together. I'll set you up and get you a little bit of welding and see what the final product looks like. So you saw me driving the sleeve down in there, and then we kind of set up a makeshift hard point, I guess, for lack of better words. Got it as best we could. Like I said, we're not running a machine shop here. We should be, but we're not. Same thing we did on the other one. It's worked fine because it's a pretty tight fit in here, so it almost self-centers anyway. We've run it around and got 4 tacks on it. I've got my hand jack stand here to hold my hand, and he's going to turn it just like we did on the other one and hopefully run a decent bead around it. So try to set the camera up and bring you along for a little bit of that. Ready? So I did the same thing here, a little bit more aggravating because the universal's still in it, but same concept. We got it pretty straight, so weld this one up, and then we got to cut the square bar, drill a hole in it, and be ready to bolt on. Well, there it is. It's about an 11-inch piece of square stock. Like I told you before, we got to drill a hole in there, so that's all we got left, and then take it out and bolt it up. So won't bore you with drilling the hole. We'll get that drilled and get it installed back on the bush hog. I'll show you the final product and hopefully get a couple of clips of mowing some grass with it. Sure saved me a bunch of money. I mean, that long square piece was a little over $100 with shipping, but I can make 3 of these with that. Got some extra pipe left from the other one. I think it was like 40 bucks before, and of course we reused his pieces. But that shaft right there, if he rebuilt it, probably now with the way the costs are, would be $350. So definitely saved. We'll see what happens with it. You know, it might wobble all the pieces, and if it does, we'll back up and pump. But for right now, we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Well, it seems as though we've been here before with this drive shaft, but we got it back together, and I told you guys I'd bring you along for it, see how bad it was or wobbled. I'll keep my hat out of the camera. Good Lord, Nelson. Anyway, let me get this on here, tighten down. Well, I might as well just leave it on. That way you guys can see if I screwed up or not. And it's kind of a weird design. You got to get the bolt started in here. I think I just went too far. You got to get the bolt started before you go on so far. Not a weird design, but it's kind of backwards, if you will. All right, let me get this end bolted up and then we'll stretch it out. Yeah, we got it started in there. This bolt's like fishing in the dark here. It is so hot again today. It's like they turned the oven up to 500 again. It's about 93 degrees. The humidity's through the roof. They're calling for 96 to 97 towards the end of this week again. Tell you, the older I get, the more I sweat. Alright, well, I'm getting ready to drop sweat all over the camera, so let me cut it off and get this bolted up, and I'll show you what we ended up with as far as length on the drive shaft. Well, there's how it ended up. It's not clocked exactly perfect. I failed to double check that before welding it, but it'll be fine for the purpose. Everything's greased up, ready to go. So I'm going to loosen that up once again and set you guys up. We'll spin it a time or two and hopefully go get started mowing. So you saw how much rust and stuff came out. So what we're after is for these plates right here to be able to move. They're moving back and forth. So there you go, that's better. You can see that on my finger. But you just loosen this castle nut up here, and this is like a spring washer. So the further you go in, the more pressure it puts on everything. This is one of the newer pieces I got from John Deere when I got this bush hog. And of course, all these friction discs and everything in here I replaced. But anyway, we got it spun free again. I don't know, it slipped the first time I thought, but maybe it caught. The reason we wrung the drive shaft out again. But let's tighten it up and go see if we can mow some grass. Well, there it is. Worked like a charm. About 2.5 hours of bush hogging. No problems at all, no extra vibration. I got the gearbox puking a little fluid out. I think that bolt's loose over there. That's the one that throws the most fluid out. I got my clutch situated, had to stop and adjust that again. And I'll show you. This is the original one we built. I throw a card up to the drive shaft. So like I said, the tube, put this in there. This is a little bit bigger. This is I think 1.25 by 1.25, or 1.25 by 1.8 or something. I don't know, but we built all that. He wanted, gosh, I can't remember what it was, $400, I think, $450 to build that. I think I got maybe 175 in it, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, there it is. So not a whole lot on this one, but hopefully enjoyed it. All right, guys, we're gonna call it a day. I got about an hour more bush hogging to do tomorrow. We should be able to call it good on that for right now and move on to the next project. So didn't get you a whole lot of footage, I know, on this, but it's just drive shaft build. But the main thing I want to show you that it can be done, and you don't have to spend so much money on that. Like I said, drive shaft shops are few and far between compared to what they were when I was growing up. But pretty much the sleeves and the tubing and the square stock, all that's almost self-centered. So, you know, if I was going down the road at 70 miles an hour, I wouldn't be building a drive shaft. But for what we're doing around here, work like a charm. So we'll see what happens. Don't forget to check out farmmerchben.com if you're interested in any of my stuff: hats, shirts, decals, koozies, keychains, license plates, you name it. Nick and Allison will hook you right up. They do work for a lot of great channels, so if you're not interested in anything of mine, check them out. You might be interested in something they have to offer. So we'll see what happens. Get out of this heat for one day and bring you along for the next adventure. Stay tuned.